Hey everybody, we're going to get to your free pick in a minute here, but before we do that, don't forget like, share, subscribe, drop in the comment section how you feel about this video, and also, if you're new customers to DocSports, head over to DocSports.com/free60. That's where you get a free $60 account. If you're new to Docs, there's a link in the description of the video. It's easy peasy. Sign up, free $60 account. Good luck unless you're against us. Here's your free NFL play.
Okay, we're back here with Raphael Esparza, my esteemed colleague, and myself, Robert Ferringo, breaking down NFL divisional odds. Next, we're going to take a look at the AFC South. Now, Raphael, this is probably one of, if not the most competitive divisions in football. We'll get to the AFC West next. That's probably the most competitive. No clear favorite. Houston is plus 100, so they are the secure favorite. But one of the few divisions where we have a team we don't have a team that's in negative odds territory. Okay, meaning like minus 120, minus 145, minus 275, like the Bills. Jacksonville is currently second at plus 300. Indianapolis right behind them at plus 350. And then last year's worst team in the NFL and last place finisher in the AFC South, the Tennessee Titans at 750. Now, Raphael, we're going to do this one a little bit differently. We're going to start worst to first. And speaking of worst to first, over the last 20 years in the NFL, there have been 27 teams that have gone worst to first, meaning they finished in last place in the division one year and then won the division the following year. That is an average of 1.4 teams a year over 20 years. That is not a small sample size, meaning that out of the 8 divisions, somebody that was in last place last year is probably going to win their division this year. Is there any chance that it could be the Titans this year?
No chance.
And why is that? Why is that? And again, I'm just playing devil's advocate. It was 2 years ago that the Houston Texans did exactly that with a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback. Tennessee doesn't have a rookie head coach. They have a second-year head coach, but a rookie quarterback. So why not us?
I think Houston's going to be much healthier. I think the sophomore slump is going to be out. So it's going to be for their quarterback. I thought didn't play as well last year. I mean, but granted, they had a wide receiver that had a horrific injury. I can't think of the name off the top of my head. I just gets my stomach turn. Thank you. Watching him get hurt was a little gruesome, but I think they're a little bit healthy. Yes, I think Tennessee's going to be much improved. But there's a reason why their total season wins 5.5. I tell people, if you think your team has a shot to win a division, to make the playoffs, vice versa, look at the total season wins. Vegas is telling you right there that their total season wins is 5.5. So, no, I don't think they're worst to first on this one. Yes, Houston did it, but they had a great QB. Do we see it? I don't see a great QB coming out of Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as high on the rookie quarterback, on Cam Ward, as a lot of people are. But again, I don't really think anybody was projecting that C.J. Stroud was going to do what he did in his rookie season. And if we're talking about a worst to first situation, which is what we are, one of the things is it's not just about the team that goes from worst to first. It's about the rest of the division, right? And I think we're both in agreement that the AFC South is the worst division in football, correct?
Yep.
Meaning that Tennessee's path to the top of the division is probably the softest. There's no Kansas City. There's no Buffalo. There's no Philadelphia that they have to summit past to win this division. So, last year at this time, Tennessee was plus 950. And again, they ended up having the worst record in football, so plus 750. Do you feel like that's an appropriate adjustment based on the offseason additions that they've made? Do you think that this number should be closer to like plus 550, plus 600 than plus 750, plus 800?
No, because you said it's the worst division in football. So when you have the worst division in football, you're going to get parity on not just 2 teams, not just 3 teams. You're going to get parity on all 4 teams. Tennessee fans are excited that they got a new quarterback and new everything, shiny new toys to play with. So maybe it is our shot to stuff like that. So no, it's just because of the division they are. It has nothing to do with they got great free agent signings and they drafted well. No, it's just your division sucks and you have parity in your division.
All right, Indianapolis Colts plus 350. What are your thoughts?
This is the only one. I was going back and forth, I'm not sold on Jacksonville. And don't tell people that, because I do the Jacksonville Jaguars pregame show every Sunday, and I don't want to get in trouble because they pay me as it is. But I'm not sold on them. So, but am I really sold on Indianapolis? I don't know. I was going back and forth. I think the Colts defense will be much improved this year than it was last year. They need to be healthy on offense, plain and simple. If they're healthy on offense and they can run the ball, then I think they can maybe make some noise and maybe steal a win in Houston or steal a win in Jacksonville. Well, everyone steals wins in Jacksonville, but I think if they can be healthy and run the ball, I think the Colts can maybe put some noise on Houston.
I don't think that Indianapolis should be plus 350. I think that this is probably the worst of the four.
I think it should be 5-1. That's what I thought it was.
I think Tennessee should be closer to plus 600, plus 550. I think Indianapolis should be around plus 500. They're not a very good team. I mean, basically, you're betting on a Daniel Jones resurgence. Okay, he was a starter for 6 years. We've seen a lot of Daniel Jones. Like, you could say, yeah, there's a lot of dysfunction with the Jets. They've been the worst, record-wise, they've been the worst franchise in the NFL over the last 8 years. So how much of that was really on him? But are we really expecting Daniel Jones to make that big of a jump? Because Anthony Richardson's hurt. And even if Anthony Richardson isn't hurt, Anthony Richardson is a bust. Okay, like, I don't know how much more you need to see of him to know that he is never going to be a quality NFL starter. So
he's an SEC quarterback.
Oh, that's right. No Florida quarterback has ever been a bust in the NFL ever. So I'm not buying into Indianapolis. They lost 2 offensive line starters. Ryan Kelly was the leader of that offensive line. Pro Bowler, longtime starting center. They lose Will Freeze. Jonathan Taylor, I love him. You love him. Everybody loves him, right? But he's another guy that's getting up there in age. He had a lot of touches last year. That usually wears down year to year on running backs. Do they still have a good complement of skill position players even for the quarterback to get? So I think the Colts odds are weak. I think even if you're just the Colts bandwagon driver, there's no way that I would touch this one. Now, I am going to disagree with you a little bit on Jacksonville. Now, I'm not a big Trevor Lawrence guy. I haven't been since his rookie season, going into his second year. I remember telling people, I was like, he's got a little bit more bust potential than people care to admit. He just misses a lot of throws. He makes a lot of questionable decisions. Now, that being said, at plus 300, at 3-1 odds here, remember, Jacksonville was the favorite to win this division just 2 years ago. Do have a new head coach, do have some nice young pieces. They have Pro Bowlers at all levels of their defense, all 3 levels of their defense. They have Pro Bowl caliber talent, as well as some pretty good skill position talent and a decent offensive line. The pieces are there. I think one of Jacksonville's big problems over the last 6, 7, 8 years has been their coaching. Their coaching has been kind of a joke. They just missed on one guy after another. Now, we don't know who Liam Cohen is. Like, he had one good year as offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay. What does that tell us? Absolutely nothing, right? But again, you're giving me 3-1 basically against a Houston team that has won back-to-back division titles. And just like we talked about with the AFC North, the last time that a team won 3 or more straight division titles in the AFC South was 2007. Okay, that went from 2003 to 2007. That was Peyton Manning's Indianapolis Colts. So other than that, over the last 18 years, we've seen a lot of parity and we've seen a lot of turnover in the AFC South. So even if you don't like Jacksonville on spec, you don't like their roster, maybe you don't like the schedule, maybe you don't believe in Liam Cohen, just from a numbers perspective, can I say, okay, you got $100. You can play it and get even money on Houston, or you can get 3-1 on Jacksonville. What do you think?
I would take the even money. There's a reason why Jacksonville were listening to the Steelers. They were listening to the Saints. They were listening to the Raiders about maybe possibly getting rid of Trevor Lawrence. There's a reason why we saw a whole bunch of smoke on Trevor Lawrence's name maybe not being the Jacksonville Jaguar quarterback. Because I always say when there's smoke, there's fire. And I'm not sold on him. I mean, how many years are you going to put a jersey on him and say, this is our year with the best quarterback to ever come out besides Andrew Luck? I'm sorry, in my eyes, he's a bust. We gave him the Andrew Luck trophy. He's the best quarterback since we've seen with Andrew Luck in Stanford. And what has he done? Nothing. He hasn't done nothing. So I can't. Yes, they got some nice shiny pieces, and yes, I think their defense is going to be really good. But it's all about what's the NFL? All about the QB. If you don't have a QB, you don't have a team. And now all of a sudden, just because they have a new head coach, they have a QB. No, give me the even money with Houston because they have a QB.
Okay, again, I admitted up front, I'm not a huge Trevor Lawrence guy. I've been a Trevor Lawrence skeptic. That being said, do you really feel like CJ Stroud is 3 times better than Trevor Lawrence? You do. You feel like there's
yes,
that?
no question. Because how many years do we have to see Trevor Lawrence put a Jaguar helmet on and say, "Oh, what? Oh, there's the Trevor Lawrence that we saw coming out of Clemson." Finally, what was that? 20 years ago now.
Okay, so Houston was plus 100 last year to win the division, and they did. Plus 100 again this year. Then if you feel that strongly about the Texans and the fact that they've won back-to-back division titles, don't you feel like that they should be that their odds that there is a little bit of value here then with them, that their numbers should be closer to say what Baltimore, another back-to-back division title winner in the AFC North, they're around minus 150. Do you feel like that would be a little bit more of an appropriate number for the Texans to win the division?
It should, but the division is trash. So you're going to have parity. When you don't have that front runner like Kansas City, Buffalo.
But you're saying they are the front runner. You're saying that their quarterback is 3 times better than the second place.
I'm not saying they're Buffalo. I'm not saying they're Kansas City. I'm not saying they're the Eagles. But if I'm breaking down this division, then I think they're the best team in a division. They're not that quality team that's going to make noise when they're in the playoffs like the teams I just mentioned.
They're not, but we're talking like if Jacksonville stinks, we both agree that the Colts stink and their odds are kind of off. And Tennessee was the worst team in football last year. Okay, so it's like 1 good playoff team that's won back-to-back titles and 3 kind of joke teams. That sounds a lot like the AFC East, where we have Buffalo and then 3 clown car teams. Okay,
yeah, I think the Colts can be better than the Jacksonville Jaguars. If my division order is Houston, Indy, Jacksonville, and Tennessee, that's my order. Is right there.
I guess what I'm saying is that if you agree with that assessment, then you're getting great value on Houston at plus 100.
I agree. Okay? Great value here.
Because with Buffalo at minus 275 and looking at them relative to the other 3 teams in their division, if you look at Houston, everything from coach to quarterback to defense, they had a top 10 defense last year to offensive line, factor in all of that stuff. They're plus 100. You're getting even money. I mean, that all of the other AFC divisional odds, all the other AFC divisions, the favorite is in negative territory. Kansas City's minus 120, Baltimore's minus 150, Buffalo's minus 275. Houston is the only one that's given plus money value. It's even money, but that's still better that you don't have to lay any juice. So I think we're kind of in agreement that of all the division favorites, they are the most favorable wager. Would you agree with that?
I agree. If I released futures on our sites, I was to do a 888 on Texans to win the division. 888.
There you go. There's your free play right there.
My free play. There you go. My free play. 888 Houston Texans and Trevor Lawrence sucks. And you know what? I'll give it. If Trevor Lawrence cuts his hair like Sunshine in the movie, then I think the Jacksonville Jaguars win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.